Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, Bonehead. How's it going?
Good to
Good
see
there?
you. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm good. How's St.
All right.
Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis is cold. Cold and cold.
Yeah,
Yes,
I bet.
yes,
I bet.
yes. So good morning, you guys. Let's get it really quick, Brandon. Got There y'all go. Uh-oh, we really good this morning. I haven't had my coffee, y'all. But let's get this party started so that we can get on out of here. Today I do have to go. I will disclose for those of you who have your books, you should have caught this yesterday. But we're doing the meter is running today, which is technically tomorrow's passage, but we're going to do it because that's how I set it up. And by the time I realized it, Facebook will not let you change it after within 30 minutes of the show. So for those who have your book and caught this, kudos to you. You should have sent it to me yesterday. So the meter is running is going to be day 309, which is what it's set for. And we'll cut to the chase tomorrow. Right.
Sounds good. Sounds
So
good.
let's get going. We have Latasha says good morning to us, and Miss Brenda says great everything, everyone. You guys are going to jump right into it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for coming and welcome to the show. This is In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly, and her son, Brandon. We're reading through Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. If you ain't got the book, go get it. You know where to get it at. It's at Amazon.com or wherever books are sold. I know you can buy those online. It might not be still published a lot, but I know they have tons of them online and in Amazon. So please go get that book to support this author. All right. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. So this treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. Thank y'all for letting me do my spiel. I hope you enjoyed it. Now let's get to the show. Ready, Mom? I know
Ready.
you got to go.
That's all right. That's all right. Got like 15 minutes at the max.
All right, cool.
We're
All
good.
right, cool. So let's run it. So today's quote comes from John Rogers, the founder of Ariel Capital Management, who said, "You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do tomorrow." Again, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do tomorrow. Have you ever stopped to figure the cost of the phrase, wait a minute? For example, if you earned approximately $25,000 a year, every minute you have to wait costs 5 cents. At $50,000 a year, this figure doubles to nearly 10 cents a minute. And if you earn $500,000 a year, your time would be worth more than $1 a minute. Johnson Publishing founder John H. Johnson mentioned that he regarded every hour of his day to be worth at least $1,000. Time is priceless. Indifference to the value of time is the real tragedy. Many a wasted life dates its ruin from a lost 5 minutes. Too late can be read between the lines on the tombstone of many a man or woman who has failed. A class of sixth graders has been assigned a term paper to be completed over a 2-month period. The day the project was due had finally come. The instructor, a seasoned teacher, was prepared to hear all types of excuses from those who had not been working steadily on their papers. She approached each student to collect their reports. "Where's your report?" the teacher asked the little girl in the last row. "My dog ate it," the little girl replied through sad eyes. The teacher, who was used to this sort of thing, shot the small child a stare of disbelief. But the child insisted. "It's true. I had to force him, but he ate it." If we don't begin to put our dreams and desires into action, they will be eaten up by procrastination and inactivity. Don't waste another minute. Read the handwriting on the wall. Pursue your goals before it's too late. And our affirmation for the day is: every minute of my time is precious. I will value this irreplaceable resource. Again, every minute of my time is precious. I will value this irreplaceable resource. And that's all we got, Mom. What do you think about that?
Oh man, I like it, especially with the little girl saying that, it was hard, but I forced him to eat it. How many times we've made excuses like the dog ate it. We've talked about this before. Um, how we'll know we're late for work because of our own doings, but we'll blame it on the traffic, right?
Yeah.
Rather than we just simply left too late. And you talked about a few days ago about how we say what we're going to do, that we
Yeah.
talk ourselves out of doing what we ought to do when we should do it. I think a lot of that happens by way of social media, how somehow we pump ourselves up, or through meaningless conversations, which we have a lot of them these days. We just talk about, I'll say that word again, nothingness. As my cousin explained to me, he had an employee in the office, writing them up or talking to them about their performance, and said, what you're talking about is nothingness. Imagine that. So we talk about meaningless conversations. We don't do enough for our goals. If we have one, we don't do enough to support them, the outcome of them. So again, if you just monitor your day, what you do during the day, who you talk to, what you talk about, how does it feed, or does it feed your goals or your goal? Do you have a goal? What does a minute of your time cost you or the other person? How do you value your time? And I think the only way you can sincerely get to a point where you value your time is you start to value yourself and your purpose and what that does, and quiet your life. Because when you start to do that, there's not a lot that you want, but because you know what you need, right? So Brandon, the meter is always running. Whether there's whether you've put the change, I think about parking where you have to go put the change in there, right? You have to put your money in there, your dollars in there to park, right? But if you don't put it in there, guess what? You might get a ticket. Popo's coming around, right? So if you don't put the change in your meter, if you don't make sure that your meter is running properly or towards the right direction, because life is your meter. Which way is it going? Is it running? And if it is it running towards your goal, or is it keeping you stagnant? Keeping you stagnant because you're focused on the past, or you procrastinate, or you feed your paper to the dog, the one that you didn't write or you wrote at the last minute and didn't like and needed an excuse. And then you start to blame what, like this child, you blame people for your meter not running or not being there, or you blame a situation or a circumstance. And at the end of the day, truth be told, it's all about you. Over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. I know you gotta probably gotta head out soon, but so I'll keep this short. I think many people look lazy, but they feel tired, and this causes and so I'd like to ask, why do we feel tired on things like this, right? Why do we have so much energy for nonsense and mess? But when it comes to doing what we need to do to get to the next level, when it comes to doing things that help us achieve our goals, we are all of a sudden tired. We are all of a sudden procrastinating. We are all of a sudden putting it off into a later date. And I think there's a number of reasons, but the main reason is we are spending too much energy in other places. We are giving too much attention to things that do not benefit us. We're giving too much attention to people that do not benefit us, situations and conversations that do not benefit us. And when it's all said and done, we are wasting time. We're going to get to a point in our life where we realize that time is undefeated and it waits for no one. So if you are waiting on time, time is not waiting for you. It's leaving you in the past. And in some alternate reality, you could have achieved your goals. You could have had that successful marriage. You could have had that successful business. You could have had, that degree. You could have done so many things, but yet you waited and waited on the time to do it when there was no time to do it better than the present moment. So the best thing that you can do is pick up your pants, put your pen to pad, put rubber to the road, and get moving, because time waits for no one. They say time heals all wounds. So even certain traumas get less with time. And you know how hard traumas are to deal with. So, but at the same time, all we can do is get over them. That's the next step. So the longer that we wait and kind of wallow in our and sulk in our own sadness, to me, is just us adding to our victim story, our victim narrative. It's just us adding to it. Like, yeah, I'm going to write another chapter in my victim narrative today. And I just don't feel like getting up because I'm depressed. I'm sorry, but your feelings are not facts. And you can change your feelings, and your feelings will change, right? Don't let your feelings change you. You change your feelings. We are responsible for how we feel. We are responsible for the situation that we are in. That's the only way to look at it to get anywhere in life. Because if you blame it on somebody else, then you will always wait on somebody else to be your savior. And no one is coming for you. No one is coming for you. So you do a lot better to do what you have to do to get to where you need to be. Because like I said before, your head is the only thing that looks right on your shoulders. Your feet are the only things that can do the walking for you. So stop all the talking and procrastination and stop making excuses. The little girl who said that my dog ate my homework or ate my paper, I had to force him to do it, but he did. This is her actually fashioning a excuse with her own energy and hands, and the energy that she spent probably in short order to make her dog eat that paper, right? Which was probably just a blank sheet of paper anyway. But what she did to make that dog, the energy that it took to make that dog eat her paper was the energy she could have spent over the course of those 2 months or whatever it was writing the paper. So many times the energy that we put inside of the mess, the energy that we put inside of the excuse, coming up with the excuse, the ingenuity that we could do to pull rabbits out of the hat to say, man, look at that. I was late because of this rabbit out of my hat. That is pure magic, and it ain't what you want to do. So do not start creating hat tricks with your tongue and creating excuses, because just because you have a reason does not mean you have an excuse. And if you can make it an excuse why you didn't make the cut, you could have made an excuse to make the cut. You could have made an excuse to get off the phone with the person that's talking nothing nonsense and rumor has it. You could have stopped watching that show and binge watching for too long. I'm not saying don't have times of leisure and rest, but a lot of it is being addicted to mess. So don't do it. Don't indulge in it, and don't add to your victim story and believe your own lies, because the lies you tell to yourself are the lies that you will tell to everyone else. And at the end of the day, and at the end of your life, You don't want the dash in your tombstone. Meaning from the time you were born to the time you died, the 2 part in between, you don't want it to be a waste. For everyone, it's going to be a dash. But what's your dash? Is your dash a quality dash where you actually used your time wisely? Or was it just a dash? Because life goes by in a flash. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you're not wasting your time and making excuses. You're actually making them like ingredients inside of a cake. Don't make excuses. Make the time. Don't make excuses. Make the time to do what you got to do and be successful. Over to you, Mom. I can't hear you, baby.
All, yeah, I was taking it off mute. That is all I have, Brandon. I love what you said about are you adding to your victim story? You know, y'all, that's a great question. Are you playing the victim, right? Because oftentimes we do. It's easier to make the dog eat it, make someone eat it, rather than to face it, right? So that's a great question. That's a great question. All right, Brandon, let's take it on out. You want to
take it on out?
do
All right, guys. Well, today is December 5th, and we are reading The Meter is Running. And John Rogers, the founder of Ariel Capital Management, said that you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do tomorrow. Don't talk about it, be about it. And our affirmation at the end of the passage says that every minute of my time is precious. Every minute of my time is precious. I will value this irreplaceable resource. Value your time today. Put a metric on it. How much are you losing every minute? Because the meter is running. All right, y'all. We love you.
Good morning to Mark Walker, Monique, and Auntie Richetta is in the house as well. So I want to say good morning to you guys and everybody who listened. Come back with us tomorrow for Let's Cut to the Chase. All right.
All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see y'all same time, same place tomorrow. Go like the YouTube channel and turn on those notifications. We'll see you then. Peace.
All right.